Hey guys, it's Katie with Picture Perfect. I wanted to touch base with you on what's coming up in March 2019 lawn care on the Picture Perfect side. March is one of the busiest months of the year because we've got a ton going on in terms of our fertilizer division, wrapping up soil samples, and putting down round one fertilizer that's got pre and post-emergent weed control, as well as our maintenance team finishing up mulch installations, performing some spring prunings, and getting ready for mow season to start either at the end of this month, maybe the beginning of April. Just kind of depends on how the weather ends up going and when it starts to get significantly warm. I've got several updates for you guys, as well as information on what's going to be coming up this month in our videos, so stay tuned. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're getting a lot of subscribers rolling in, which is awesome, and we'll be right back to talk about what's next for March. Before I get too far into talking about services this spring, I want to give our clients a quick update on the situation with account representation and kind of the sales side of things. Most of you should have gotten a letter from us at the very beginning of the year introducing Roger, who's been with our team for several years, working on the maintenance side as one of our directors. He was going to be moving into our sales department to give that service side and kind of get out of the field. Roger has a few medical issues that he is very passionate about overcoming, but unfortunately several things have happened that weren't expected that have had a big influence on his health. His doctors are recommending that he just focus on getting better and take time off work. So unfortunately, and I'm sorry for the inconsistency, but Roger won't be doing the account representation that we had expected as of the beginning of this year. I'm going to be back at that, so hopefully that's not too much of a letdown to you guys. I'm going to be able to answer any questions you have, anything that you want to price on, anything with your lawn that you're unsure about. Let me know. Give me a shout so that I can make sure that you're covered. We're hoping Roger will be back with us at some point. We just have no idea, unfortunately, when that will be. So please keep him in your thoughts. Roger is a great part of our team and part of our family at this point. So we are wishing him nothing but the best of health, and we really appreciate your understanding with it. So March might be one of my favorite months of the year. I'm not exactly sure why, but it might have something to do with the fact that the first day of spring is in March. I'm so done with winter. I'm from farther south than Virginia, and my blood is still thin. I am not built for these crazy cold temperatures that we get up here, and I can't imagine what our viewers even farther north are experiencing, so bless you for that. But I'm looking forward to seeing some things start to bloom, to feeling the sun again, and it's gonna be awesome this year. I can already tell. We get a lot of calls this time of year because we're starting to get those random days that spike up into the 60s and even the 70s, and a lot of people start to panic because, oh, I haven't gotten my pre-emergent weed control all down yet, things are going to start to bloom. That's usually not going to be the case. So with those warmer temperatures coming, a huge thing that we are monitoring is soil temperature. Obviously, when you watch the weather, the big thing that they're reporting on is air temperature. Those highs and lows are going to be based on what you're actually feeling, since we don't live in the dirt. But your grass does, and it's those soil temperatures that affect your lawn a lot more often than the air temperatures do. When we look at soil temperatures, the most accurate way of determining them is going to be by digging a hole a few inches into the ground and sticking a thermometer in there and seeing what number it spits out. But if you don't want to go to all that trouble, which I usually don't, a kind of cheat way of getting an approximate idea of where the soil temperatures are sitting is to look at several days average of the highs and lows in the forecast. So if your air temperatures are ranging from a low of 30 to a high of 50 3 days in a row, then you know that your soil temperatures are sitting around 40 degrees. We don't need to be worried about crabgrass germination, which crabgrass is the big thing that we're focusing on with pre-emergent weed control, until those soil temperatures get up into the mid to high 50s, usually closer to around 60. As a result, if our soil temperatures are still staying in the 40s right now, which they are, we've got plenty of time to get that pre-emergent weed control down. So that first round of fertilizer and weed control that we're doing with the pre-emergent and post-emergent weed control is going to be going down for the rest of this month. So be sure to stay tuned for when we give you a call ahead to let you know when we've got that on the schedule. The example that I like to use for explaining how soil temperatures take multiple days of warmer temperatures to come up themselves is if you're going to be cooking dinner tonight, right, and you take your frozen chicken out of the freezer, you set it in the sink or on the counter to let it thaw. No matter how hot your house is, whether you're somebody who keeps it at 70, 80, 90 degrees, whatever makes you happy, it's still going to take hours for that chicken to completely thaw because it's a much denser structure that the air temperature isn't affecting all of. As a result, if you only leave it out for, say, an hour, the inside of it is still going to be frozen. It's the same thing with your soil. If we get a random peak day where instead of the normal 50s highs that we are seeing this time of year, we get it jumping up into the 70s, it's going to warm up that very surface layer of your soil a little bit more than it would have otherwise been. But your soil as a whole, that whole zone where that seed from weeds is at risk of germinating, is still going to be very cold. So you need that consistency of at least several days reaching those higher air temperatures for those soil temperatures to come up and be comparable to those air temperatures as well. So where Preemergent weed control is concerned, for my DIY homeowners and my professional applicators that are following this channel, have you already gotten started on putting down your Preemergent? Just put yes or no in the comments below. I'm really curious to find out because I want to see what we're doing versus what you're doing and how similar it is. Now, one thing that I've gotten questions about from our viewers on is actually mulch related, and that's one of the big things that I'm going to be making a video on in the next week or so, showing you what our guys do when they install mulch, what the mulch that we use looks like, and what they do to prepare the beds for the installation, and how it looks before and after. I'm really excited about that video. I always like to make videos showing our guys working because they are awesome at what they do, so be sure to subscribe so that you can stay posted for that. Another question that I get asked a lot in March is when our mowing service is going to start, or if we only fertilize for you, when should I start mowing my grass? For more and more people at this point in the year, your grass might start to be looking a little shaggy, especially if you didn't have a chance to mow it low after aeration seeding before it went dormant. As a result, it's kind of that panic of, oh, I don't want a jungle, I don't want it to get out of control, I don't want the HOA to write me a letter, so there's a lot of anxiety related to when that first mow is going to happen. We don't want it to happen too soon. This time of year, especially in early to mid-March, if the temperatures haven't consistently gotten high, remember we just talked about those soil temperatures, then the grass is having little peaks of growth. Maybe it'll kind of spring up for a day, but then it goes dormant again because we're still getting temperatures that are below freezing, and that's too cold even for fescue. So we don't want to come out and mow your grass and then not be back for 3 or 4 weeks waiting for it to grow and catch up. We want that consistency because it can be stressful to your fescue and it's just not consistent for you or for us. So stay patient. If your grass is getting really shaggy and we mow for you, let me know because we are in the area, but we're wanting your feedback and we want to make sure that you're covered. So keep us up to date, send us pictures if you need to, just give us a call and let us know, but don't panic yet. Normally most seasons, we see the mow season start kind of late March in our area. The two big things that I want our clients to be thinking of outside of the normal maintenance and fertilizer schedule and what kind of services we're doing this month are what we need to be getting you signed up for if you're interested in before we get too far into spring. The first is outdoor pest control. We've got an awesome outdoor pest control program that I'm sure you guys have heard about by now that uses a completely natural product to kill mosquitoes, fleas, and ticks on contact and then create a barrier that drastically reduces their presence for 3 to 4 weeks. We've got this on a consistent basis, or depending on your need, we can do just kind of a one-time treatment. So let me know if you want to get a price on this service and get set up for it this year so that you can actually enjoy the yard that you're investing in making beautiful. The second is preventative care. This is a huge thing that I've been sending tons of emails and everything on because it's really important this year. We had such a bad 2018 and we're having such a wet start to 2019 that the rates of fungus and grubs and nutsedge are going to be much higher this year than they normally are. As a result, whereas last year we got caught kind of with our pants down because no one saw all of that wet weather coming through until it was happening, This year we can anticipate it, and that makes a huge difference. So instead of those sometimes high rates for the corrective treatments, we're offering right now discounted preventative rates so that you can go ahead and have peace of mind. You know that you're covered and you're going to be saving money on something that more likely than not is going to affect your yard. If you have questions about that, let me know. I can gladly email you a price option on any bits and pieces or the whole package. So we really want to make sure that you guys are covered before spring gets too far in, and we need to be thinking about correctives instead. As always, I appreciate you guys taking the time to stay up to date on what's going on with Picture Perfect, especially in a busy month like March. If you have questions, let me know. Comment below. I always like getting your feedback, and I really hope that you have a Picture Perfect day.